Demon Slayer is an anime that's been at the forefront of this generation of shonen, gaining worldwide popularity due to its incredible adaptation, which combined a very unique and appealing aesthetic with great action and composition. It's no secret that Demon Slayer is insanely popular in the West. Every convention I go to is filled with people wearing this haori, and every other person has this pair of earrings on. But in Japan, the obsession for Demon Slayer is on another level. Japan eats, drinks, and breathes Demon Slayer, with the manga setting a sales record that will most likely never be broken in 2020, and eventually reaching 150 million copies in circulation, which is about 50% more than Juggernaut's Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia. Demon Slayers outsold Bleach, a member of the extremely iconic Big Three, with less than half of the chapters. It's very much a cultural phenomenon and touched the hearts of many due to its strong themes revolving around families set in the Taisho era, helmed by one of the most empathetic characters in manga. With all this popularity comes a whole lot of dough, and when it comes to making money, Demon Slayer's Weekly Shonen Jump's premier cash cow. Even though the likes of Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia are each at around 100 million sales, Shonen Jump goes the extra mile when it comes to securing more sales for Demon Slayer, whether it be through supplemental novels or copious amounts of merch. Their money-making strategy paid off big time when Demon Slayer decided to adapt its Mugen Train arc as a movie, bringing actual canon content to the big screen instead of putting out an anime canon movie where the world explodes but the main characters go back to acting like nothing happened as soon as the end credits roll. Mugen Train surpassed all expectations when it was released, shattering monetary movie records left and right as the entire country of Japan went into a frenzy over the now beloved Rengoku. Demon Slayer's production committee quickly realized how much power they held with this anime, and with each coming installment comes another way to get a couple of more bucks. Their most recent strategy involved taking the end of season 3 and slapping on the first episode of the soon to be released season 4 and calling that a movie. Sounds pretty shameless, right? I mean, why would anyone spend their hard-earned money to go see content they've already seen before, along with content that's going to be released with the new season anyways? Unsurprisingly, this movie flopped. Just kidding. This is Demon Slayer, remember? It made $44 million. Did these people not know they were getting duped? These ticket prices are too outrageous to pay for rewatching content from a season ago. Maybe Demon Slayer really is a mint in itself. Obviously, Weekly Shonen Jump and the public want Demon Slayer to go on for as long as possible, as it's been consistent eye candy for everyone over the past couple of years. Unfortunately, Demon Slayer's manga isn't that long, wrapping up in a nicely packaged 205 chapters. This has led to some padding being added to some of Demon Slayer's arcs so we get as many seasons as possible. Season 3, which featured the Swordsmith Village arc, was noticeably slower than previous seasons, with multiple episodes feeling like not much really happened. There were also a lot of unnecessary inner monologues going on constantly, along with Tanjiro announcing the most obvious things as if the entire audience is blind. Combined with rather weak villains, and the Swordsmith Village arc ended up being a pretty tough watch. When I heard that Demon Slayer was going to dedicate an entire season to the Hashira Training Arc, which was around 11 chapters in the manga and takes 30 minutes to read, I was afraid I'd be in for a season even more excruciating than the Swordsmith Village. After all, training arcs don't tend to be the most entertaining arcs, and Demon Slayer's Hashira Training wasn't very memorable to me in the manga, at least compared to all the other fantastic arcs. I wasn't sure if I was ready for a full season of Tanjiro meditating underneath a waterfall and talking about the beauty of each droplet while the sound of birds drone on in the background. But after watching the Hashira Training Arc, I must say, I enjoyed this Demon Slayer season a lot more than I thought I would. The more I thought about this arc, the more I realized that if there was an arc that should be given more time to breathe and get fleshed out within Demon Slayer, it's the Hashira Training Arc. This arc isn't filled with high-octane, fast-paced battles that would get muddy due to being stretched out with pointless monologues like Swordsmith Village was. It's an arc where Tanjiro and Ko train with the best of the best, learning more about their philosophy when it comes to being strong and dispatching demons, and overall increasing their combat capabilities for the upcoming final battle. Since this arc was so short in the manga, we didn't spend much time with each of the Hashira apart from Gyome, who finally crossed paths with Tanjiro this arc to train him. It kind of felt like Tanjiro was zooming through all the other Hashira training, especially with the Hashira he knew well from previous arcs, which makes sense. But it was nice getting some more breathing time with all the other Hashira who trained Tanjiro before Gyome, especially with characters like Tengen, who got a lot more content added for his section of training, which is great because who doesn't love Tengen? In the manga, his training is extremely forgettable since it's done in a page, and this is the case for Muichiro and most of the other Hashira as well. However, in the anime, since a lot more content had been added for these sections of training, they all ended up being a lot more impactful and also gave more insight into how a specific Hashira's training strengthens an aspect of Tanjiro's training ability. The Hashira themselves are trying to make their angst mark appear, since it's kinda busted, and seeing characters like Giyu and Sanemi duel, even if it's for training, was awesome. The slower pace also enhances the feeling of the Hashira training arc being the calm before the storm. Demon attacks have pretty much halted, which would normally be a source of relief for the Demon Slayers. However, in this situation, everyone knows it's because Muzan is preparing his final assault to finally take the Demon Slayers down. I like how we were shown throughout the season how Muzan is following Demon Slayers around to figure out where the pillars are, along with the Ubuyashiki estate, since the manga didn't consistently show it throughout the training. We still don't know where the upper demon moons are, although everyone's aware that they'll mobilize the instant Muzan launches his attack. Even though most of this season is Tanjiro being goofy with the boys and trying to fix broken familial bonds, there's still that lingering feeling of dread. This feeling of dread is amplified even more by the season's finale, which was breathtaking to say the least. I really enjoyed the juxtaposition between Ubuyashiki and Muzan that was displayed during this episode. Muzan, a man who's achieved immortality and has an extremely powerful arsenal of demons who must listen to his words, seems like a shrimp of a leader compared to Ubuyashiki, who's literally on his deathbed. Seeing Muzan get unnerved by a feeble, dying man who's confidently telling him that he'll never reach eternity despite being a relentless force unaffected by time is amazing. His conclusion was done wonderfully, and he went out with a bang, or a kaboom. Even through his death, Ubuyashiki is locked in, but he tossed away his family just to put Muzan at a disadvantage. He knew no one but Gyome would agree to use him as bait since everyone loves him so much, yet he proceeded with such a ballsy plan. Muzan would never. Ubuyashiki's strong presence is felt immediately after all the Hashira come running over to the estate, horrified that something had happened to their beloved master. Now the stage is set. All the Hashira are here, and soon all the upper demon moons. With Ubuyashiki's death, it's obvious that many more are to follow. This is the final battle of Demon Slayer. This is what the entire anime has been building up to. All the training to master different breathing techniques and fighting styles, all the tragic deaths we've experienced, all the tears Tanjiro shed for others on his quest to save his sister, all of it leads up to this battle. We'll experience the elation of seeing some of the most hated upper demon moons go down, but it comes at a hefty price. Your favorites will suffer, and the Infinity Fortress is a non-stop tragedy. Ultimately, I believe stretching the Hashira Training Arc was the right move for Demon Slayer. Some arc had to get stretched out in order for Demon Slayer to fill out an entire season, and I'm glad it's a training arc that allowed me to gain more of a connection with the Hashira than I did in its manga equivalent, especially considering how gruesome and brutal the Infinity Fortress arc is and how it truly is the final battle that'll decide the fate of demons in general. It's nice having a breather arc beforehand where I can see all the characters I've grown to love in Demon Slayer, live. I'm sure once Infinity Fortress gets adapted and we see so many characters drop like flies, people who previously disliked the Hashira Training Arc are gonna wish it was just a little bit longer. Nevertheless, the Hashira Training Arc did an excellent job setting up Demon Slayer's final arc, especially with its breathtaking last episode. Get it? Because they're Demon Slayers, they have breathing techniques, they breathe. I'm just gonna move on. But the peaceful mirage Demon Slayer had kept us in this season was shattered. I can't wait to see a full 26 episode season of the Infinity Fortress, and I hope it's able to come out in its entirety with the proper schedule. And they split this arc into 3 movies. They can't keep getting away with this, except they will, and they'll be getting away with it with millions more in their pocket. I'm gonna be 500 years old by the time I see Muzan meet his maker. Oh, Demon Slayer, why must you be so successful? As a fan, it's killing me. But also as a fan, I guess this is the perfect problem to have as opposed to being axed or never ending. Shonen Jump lines their pockets once again while we pay with our time. Anyways, I'll be there for those movies. Mugen Train already made me sob in the theaters once, and I'm sure Demon Slayer's final trilogy will do the same, or I'll be crying because of a midlife crisis. We'll see when we get there. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like and subscribe. If you love Demon Slayer, stick around because I'll drop more content on it in 2030. Man, this wait is going to be long. Anyways, have a nice day.